In translation, bridge the gap. Communication so real, no cap. A different language for woman and man. Decode the language and you'll understand. Nah, it'll help you out. Rest assured, women have no doubt. Pillow talk, dinner talk. Give you the info to walk the walk. Nah, sometimes it's a foreign language. Now know what's up, don't mistake it. This'll help you every situation. Empower yourself, it's liberating, yeah. Communication, don't need no speculation. Just get that clarification, then reconciliation. Man translation, yeah. Man translation, yeah.
Welcome back to another Sunday. Welcome back to the Man Translation Show. When we talk about cutting edge stuff, you hear things you ain't never heard before. We take a deep dive and get down to the nitty gritty. I'm Scott C, and this is Dante V, our communication and our relationship strategist. And today we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about today?
How long should one be?
How long should people fiancé? So we started this show as a mother and son to show that mothers and sons of the African American diaspora can have healthy relationships and to bridge the gap, not only to bridge the gap between men and women, but to bridge the gap between generations, okay? I'm of a different generation than my son is. So we don't really we don't think the same. We don't really have the same perspective. And that's why it's important for the generations to come together to bridge the gap. It's not to say that my perspective is wrong and his is right, or his is wrong and mine is right, or vice versa, and however you shake the bag. It's to say that you see according to the position in which you stand. Your perspective has to do with your experiences, how you comprehend. It's so much that goes into that mixed bag. And so a lot of times people think that they can't have relationships because they don't agree. They don't have to do with agreeing.
No, disagreeing is a part of life. But I think my issue is the people who you disagree with them and they view that as rejection and they take it to heart.
Because they don't understand what perspective means. They don't understand what it really means to have a perspective. Or a point of view. That's what a perspective is. It is a point of view. Even if you and I go up in the elevator at different times, we're not going to see the same thing.
No, we're not.
Point of view. If I stand left, you stand right, we stand back to back, not going to see the same thing. But when we share what each one saw, we broaden our horizon and we broaden the spectrum of sight. I just went to a vision party yesterday, and of course my vision board is on my phone, so I'm digital, so I don't cut out paper and paste paper anymore. I stopped doing that.
I appreciate this. I
upgraded. So my vision board is on my phone and it's on my desktop. And the reason why is because vision is all about foresight. It's about seeing down the line. And everybody doesn't have vision. Everybody cannot see past 2 seconds ago. So you have insight, which you have right now. That's it now. You have hindsight, which is in the past. But then when you doing your vision, that is a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and everybody can't see that far.
No, they cannot.
Everybody can't see that far. But when you have a vision, it is normally in your mind's eye, or it's invisible. So you need to, when you do a vision party, you're bringing it into the natural. But when you cut out stuff and you put it on a board, wherever you put the board, unless you put it on your mirror in the bathroom, you're not going to look at it every day. So basically what you're doing is you're balancing the unseen with the seen. So you want to put your board where you can see it all the time. And what do we carry? And what do we look at all the time, all day long?
Your phone.
And for me, I spend a lot of time on my desktop, but it only pops up on my desktop when I first open up the computer. But
Mm.
on my phone, it's on all the time. So I digitized my vision board so that I could see it consistently and constantly every day all the time. But I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about how long should we fiance, because I'm running into people. They've been engaged for 8 years and 7 years and 9 years, and you're looking at them like, what? 369.
Hey, hey. They came to the club like 50, 11 times.
21, 24, 27, 30. How many? 30 years? 21, 15? How many years? Come on. Come on. Why would you let somebody string you along? Talk about it, Dante.
Man, I ain't gonna say how I really feel.
Say how you really feel, because women need to know. Women need to know what it really is. Because from my understanding from men, they already know within that first 6 months to a year whether they're going to marry you or not.
Yes. Well, again, when you're going through that whole dating, courting phase, that's the time where you're literally weeding out. Okay, we're going through the different seasons. How does she do this? How does she do that? How does she respond to this? Once the proposal is done, I mean, if it's money, okay, I get it. But anywhere from a year to 2 years, we should be planning.
Well,
Like
that's what you're
the
supposed
plan
to be
should be
doing.
done.
You're supposed to be planning the wedding.
Right. But if you fiance for that long, that was a shut up proposal.
Ah!
That was an
Shut up, shut up,
entire
shut up, shut
yeah,
up.
that was a well, if you don't want to, make an honest woman out of me, if you don't want to do this, then I'ma leave. And it's like, well, I'm wanting to leave. So let me go ahead and hit it with the proposal. And then that is another process. When you want your job, let's talk about this earlier. When you want your job, you get a probation period. After that probation period, you sign a new contract and they bring you on permanently or they let you go. You were there, you performed, you did everything you were supposed to. Okay, fine. We're going to bring you on. And a lot of times when they bring you on, they bump you up in salary, you get the benefits, yada, yada, yada. This proposal, this fiance should be.
It goes both ways, because the
Uh-huh.
probation period is also for you to decide, do I want to stay with this company or
No, you're
do
right.
I want to leave? It's also your time to evaluate and make some assessments as to whether you
Uh-huh.
want to stay with that company or not, because you may want to leave. That's why a lot of the companies are now at will, because either you can leave
Oh, yeah.
or we can tell you to leave. Either way, if this is not beneficial for the both of us,
You got to go.
you're free to go, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that right there. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, that's what that is.
I just don't. I just don't. To me, after 2 years, like this is not no fiancéing, because
What are we
see,
doing? What are we doing at this point? Now, granted, I know a couple people who got married and then the pandemic happened, and it was like, we got to put it off because destination weddings and stuff like that. But then again, there were a lot of people that were getting married, you know, at the courthouse. I hate to say that word out loud, and making it work because this is something that they really wanted to do. Not listening to social media because I think that a courthouse marriage is a horrible thing. But at the end of the day, if this is really what you want, why not go ahead on and do it? You can always have the reception later on.
the thing is that the piece of paper don't make you marry anyway. But I just want to talk about how people, to me, they're being strung along, because when you are at the place of engagement, that means that you both are on the same page. It means
Mm.
you're both on the same page. You both want to get married to each other. Because a man can want to get married, but not necessarily does he want to marry you.
You. Oh Lord, that's true. That is true. It's like some people are only good for a certain level. You're good enough to be with. We can kick it. We can have fun, but I wouldn't marry you. You don't. I mean, and again, I say this. I'm probably going to get reamed for it, but I don't care. Some women and some men don't have what it takes to be that wife or that husband. Also, with that being said, you probably shouldn't be together anyway. But we live in a different
Well,
age
with
and
some
time.
people, being with somebody else is better with being this with them being with themselves, and I think that's pretty horrible.
You talking about the person who just they can't be by themselves. They have
No,
to be in some sort of relationship. They have to
yeah,
be in some. They gotta be in somebody's face. It's like go heal.
right.
You just got off of a breakup, divorce, whatever the case may be, and you just have to have someone there. Go pray.
But what are the chances of the man marrying the woman after they've been fiancé and 5 and 7 and 8 and 9? I heard
At that
somebody engaged to somebody for 10 years. You got to be kidding me.
at that point, it's forced. It's like a long yes. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Then it's like, "Ugh, all right, well let's go ahead and get this over with.
I think too that it speaks to the integrity of a person and it speaks to the honesty because the engagement and the engagement ring is about a mutual promise.
Mm-hmm.
It's about mutual promises that you make to each other. And it's just about, just a mutual agreement and a mutual understanding. And so if I'm going to um if I'm going to marry you, but the reason why we're not married is because we don't have the finances, then I'm not going to marry you anyway because you're not ready.
No.
If you
Uh-uh.
can't if you can't afford to pay for a wedding, um, you know,
That's
and
another thing.
a lot of men don't want to spend that much money on a wedding.
I'm hey me. I'm here. No, because here's my thought process with this. One, because I've been to a number of different weddings. I've heard the toast. It is like what you're paying money for other people to basically witness you and the other person
Right,
get married. You're
right,
also inviting people who don't want to see this union go through. So I'm paying. No, I've seen it. I've seen it too many times. It's like they talk about. It's the same people that be talking about funerals. Same people be talking about you. Oh, I wouldn't have did this. Oh, the food wasn't this. Oh, they look okay. Like I've seen it. So you go off. You spend. Let's just say $20,000 on this wedding. It don't work out. I'm in the hole. Or we in the hole. $20,000 on top of a divorce, and I got to divide assets and everything else.
the dress alone costs 20,000.
Listen, here's what we gonna do, right? Me and said fiance, we're gonna go somewhere. You invite two of your friends, I invite two of my friends. We go off, we have fun. We come back, have a reception, invite everybody else. I done saved me money. I done went on a vacation and a honeymoon, and we everything's
So that's
accomplished.
what it is. The marriage is really about the witnessing. That's what it is. It's about the witnessing and being going public. About what it is that you've already done in private. And so I think people, it's all for it's all for show. It's
I don't give a damn
basically
about them. I don't care about them people.
this is
Y'all,
basically
y'all right.
it's basically all for show. So
No, me personally, I don't believe in all that. Like,
well, the thing is, the thing that trips me out about it is that people that don't even believe in God will be trying to do stuff that's in the Bible that they don't believe in. That's the thing that trips me out. Like you don't even believe in God, you don't believe in nothing that's in the Bible, but why you want to partake in marriage? And the thing is that if you really read and study the Bible, ain't nobody who had a marriage in there. Who had all that? They ain't do all that. Mm-mm.
uh-uh.
Nope, that's man-made stuff. Ain't nobody go to no courthouse and get no
Yeah.
licenses. Ain't nobody
Like, baby, I love you so
get
much. We're
no
gonna get the
license and all
government in this.
that. When you go to court, and get the license and stuff, that means that you just now put the government and the state within your union.
That's
And you
it.
now allowing them to govern if you get divorced one day. So that just trips me out. But I just keep running across people that's been fiancéing way too long for me.
Yeah,
Like
they got a shut up ring.
they got a shut up ring.
A shut up ring. I'm not, either we do this or whatever the case may be, and it's like, she ain't serious until she's serious. And it's like, let me go ahead on and get this right. Let me go ahead on and do this.
I think it just sounds good to some people. This is my fiance.
No,
I think
and
to some people it
that's
just sounds good.
some people do want to get married for title, just to
Right.
be like, I have a husband. Um,
Right,
I
but
have
don't
to
even
do
know
that.
what a husband is, what a husband's supposed to do. Don't even know what a wife is. Don't know what a wife's supposed to do. That's what I mean. It's like people have been just redefined to give their own definitions to things, and it's just a recipe for misery. I don't know if you heard Lala Anthony. She talked about marriage. I think she was on the Breakfast Club. She was talking about marriage and how she doesn't really, she's not interested in being married, and that most of her friends that are married are miserable. And I concur. I agree. There's not a whole lot of happy married people. They pretend.
Because no one. Well, again, I'm being divorced. It's a couple things that if I were to get married again, I would definitely partake in. Premarital counseling is one of them. Having the hard talks is another. It's like we don't talk about credit, finances, how you want to raise the kids, and what religion do you want to raise the kids. Like certain things that are actually put in place. Hell, do they even want to have kids? Like you get married, and now all of a sudden I don't want to have kids. Now we both the hell surprised. Wait, what?
See, you
Like
doing good because I don't want to talk about none of that. I don't want to talk about nothing. I don't want to go to no premarital counseling. I just don't want no parts of it. You know how I feel about it. I just don't want no parts of
no,
it
and I'm starting to hear
whatsoever.
that.
I don't feel like talking about nothing. I am just such like I just don't want anything to interfere with my freedom. And I think that just as you get older, I don't want to answer to nobody for nothing.
I really think you
I don't
have
care
to.
about your credit. I don't care nothing about it. We ain't gotta talk about it. No, don't worry about my credit. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. No. Mm-mm. I just want to be free. Period. So all that going to premarital counseling is giving me a headache even thinking about it. I don't feel like it. No.
But I think that's what people, more so women nowadays than men. I think again the tables have turned. Men are like, "Hey, let's get married." And women are like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Well, because women were getting married because they felt that, they were taught that the man's supposed to be the protector, provider. He's supposed to take care of you. And now women are taking care of themselves. Multi-millionaires got their own houses, cars, and all kind of stuff or whatever. And so, what do they need you for? Basically, that's why they don't want to get, married. It's like now they treating men like how the men was treating them. The tables
Mm-hmm.
have definitely turned.
Well, they definitely have,
Yeah,
definitely.
the table and that's why I don't understand why are you allowing someone to promise you that he's going to marry you for the next 10 years of your life, time that you're never going to get back. He's getting all the benefits of a husband, of a wife, but yet he still has not, followed through on the promise. So that's what fiance in French means
Mm-hmm.
trust. It means to trust. And so I can't even trust that you're gonna keep your word because we've been saving for this here marriage for the last 14 years. And no, bro, I'm good. And it's like at what point? And again, I always use the same analogy when it comes to these jobs because
Huh.
people are being mistreated on these jobs. They're being controlled. They're miserable. They're depressed. They're stressed. And at what point do you become more important? At what point do you put yourself first? At what point does your mental health, your physical health, at what point does that become the priority? At what point does your family become the priority? Because your job don't care nothing about your family, don't care nothing about your mental, don't care nothing about your physical. They just want you. They just want you there. And
Yes, they
so,
do. And don't give a damn about it either.
and that's the same thing. Somebody's controlling you with a ring. Somebody is using buy your own ring. If you want a ring that bad, buy your own ring. You're not gonna control me with a ring. We supposed to got married 10 years ago. We still fiancé. No. How long do we fiancé? I don't care nothing about who get an attitude about it. Stop allowing somebody to string you along. Because let me tell you something. A man will lose respect for you, and you won't even know he ain't got no respect for you. Talk about it, Dante.
No, it's very true. I mean, in some cases, not all cases, because we do have some more mature males out there, actual grown men who are willing to not put you through the BS. But then you have some where it's like you're dealing with your own child, and your children will test you to see what they can and can't get away with and how long they can do so.
But I think the thing is that if to me, either you're gonna believe the word of God, or you're not going to believe the word of God. Okay, either you're going to do it that way or you're not. You can't take pieces of it, put your own definitions to it, put your own spins on it, and then do it the way you want to do it, and then wonder why it don't work. The thing is that traditionally the way it's supposed to go is that you're supposed to really come together with the family. And it's supposed to be, in that time period, you're supposed to be doing a lot of talking. Like you said, Dante, it's supposed to be a lot of talking about, how do you want to have children? What are your goals? What is your vision for your life? Do you know what it is that you want to do? That's another thing. People don't even know what they're supposed to be doing, but you want to join your life to somebody else's life. Now, both of y'all lost and confused. And so it's supposed to be really a family thing. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to talk to the father. What is the intentions that you have for my daughter? He's trying to find out what long-term plans do you have.
Not only that, the father and mom are trying to figure out whether or not they can pass that baton on to that husband or that wife, because it's like, I'm not going to pass this off if you cannot take care of her or him how I was. You're supposed to be either doing the same, if not better, than what I already did. Can you maintain what I'm giving you? Because if the answer is no, then you gotta go.
And I just was having this conversation yesterday. We were talking about, what generational wealth really is, and what the curses really are, and all of that. And there was a lady that was of an older generation, and she talked about how they didn't even have 401ks on jobs and stuff when she worked. And so, the young lady, she was talking about how she grew up in the projects, because I was saying, when I grew up, parents didn't even talk about what their plans were or their goals. You didn't hear them talk about what their dreams were or what they wanted to do, or, I want to study to get this degree or that. Like, you didn't hear any of, that type of talk about any kind of aspirations that your parents had or whatever. And so now we are thrust in this time where, people are starting businesses, and parents are talking about goals and, all of this stuff. So we're kind of like trying to get from behind the 8 ball and to even leave something for our children so that they can enter into a marriage and not be, in debt. Because when you take on the wife, the family is supposed to pass on a dowry. It's supposed to be a dowry that's supposed to pass on. That's what I'm saying. People are entering into things that they have no knowledge of. They're entering into things because it sounds good, because you want to be accepted, because you're dealing with abandonment issues and you're dealing with rejection issues. And now you want to conform It's true, and it's the same thing when you're jobs. People will conform to things that go against their very being, their very nature, the very fiber of who they are, just because you want to fit in. No, to me, them days are over. It's time to be vocal. It is time to open up your mouth. You cannot make a difference without being different. You got to be different in order to make change. You can't be like everybody else. And you got to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that. But people's self-esteem is so non-existent, and their confidence, their rejection level is so high. They're so scared that people are not going to like them, that they conform. So you rather allow yourself to be in a non-relationship because somebody holding a ring as a carrot to keep you in something that goes against who you are. There's no way as a woman you agree with that.
Nah, they can't have all that.
You ain't nothing to agree with that. And you don't want to keep bringing it up because it's going to start an argument. Well, we were supposed to get married 7 years ago, and we still ain't got married yet. Now you begging. You done went from agreeing to begging. Now you begging this man to marry you. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Here go your ring, bro. Take your ring. And the next time you see me, I'm going to have all the diamonds and gemstones and rubies and jades and everything else, okay? Listen, all that for a ring? Nah. No. Like that time, that's over. And then they're not even coming with a dowry. People are getting married and they in debt, like you said. You paying all this money just for show, and now you in debt, and behind closed doors you arguing, but then in public you trying to act like you so lovey-dovey. Okay, it's time out for the phony and the fake. Time out.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that.
Our children need to see the real.
And they're watching.
Yeah, they watching. Yes, they watching. I just was watching somebody on social media, so-called in Christendom, marry somebody and got an ounce of. See, let me tell you something. Love is not an action word. Love is not a feeling. Love is a spirit. It is who God is. It's who He is. And so when the union comes together and God steps into in the middle of the union, that you can see that spirit. Well, some of us can. You see two people, not only do they not have love in between them, they don't even have no chemistry.
And it'd be so obvious.
It'd be so obvious. And I'm looking like, this girl ain't got there's no love. There's no love there. Because love is a spirit. And you can see whether two people love each other. You can see whether two people love each other because you can see that spirit. You may not know it's a spirit that you can see, but that's a spirit that you can see.
Right.
If two people have chemistry, you can see that too. And if they don't have no chemistry, then you can see that too.
I think it's more obvious when they don't have it than when they do.
And you looking like, okay, this is supposed to be like the marriage of the year. No love, no chemistry.
You used to be out there just rooting for every goddamn out.
She's trying to prove a point. You about to mess somebody's life up. Trying to prove
and waste their time.
Doing That's it for show. Everything is for show. I'm so tired of the for show. I'm so tired of people doing everything for show. Like the level of phony in the world and fake is just unreal for me. It's just unreal. Just like Lala said, most married people are miserable. I agree with her. I've been saying it for a long time. They're miserable because they don't know what they've gotten themselves into. You have no idea. It is not what you think it is. You don't even know what it is. It's not about being able to be married so you cannot be lonely, because you can be married and be more lonely than you were when you were by yourself.
And that's even worse because they right there. I've been there a time or two. Heavy on the two.
It is. And so I'm not gonna let nobody string me along. And I'm not saying get married quickly, but I'm saying that it only takes a year to plan a wedding.
Not even that. If anything, you might be waiting on the venue, but everything else can be taken care of beforehand.
And for real, you could just do it in the church. Oh, I forgot. Y'all don't believe in God. No, you can't do it in the church. Well, wherever, in the park or somewhere. Go outside in the park or something. But you're not gonna string me along for no ring. And then not only that, it's like when you buy a house, right? When you buy a house, when you put the down payment on the house, it takes the house off the market. Nobody else can't buy the house. As long as you have a contract on that house, and as long as you have a down payment, they call that in good faith, then that takes the house off the market. So once he puts that ring on your finger, that takes you off the market. That means that, it's supposed to mean you ain't gonna be dealing with no other dudes. That's what it's supposed to mean. You ain't gonna be dealing with no other dudes. So now the ring now then becomes what? A form of control. Because some women, they're gonna be loyal to the promise. I promised him we're gonna get married to each other. And then now, when does the ring become a placeholder that he put on your finger to hold you in place while he waiting for the one that he really want to marry to come along? Talk about it, Dante. You falling for the ugly dog. Don't let nobody's fiancé you for 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12, 17, 24, 30 years.
I mean, again, we're talking about the non-mature, the non-committal. That will basically hit you with the bait and switch. In order to get you to stay, because I don't really want to be by myself, let me go ahead and put this ring on your finger, and everything that you're telling me I should be doing, I hear everything that you say. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go apply that to the person that I really want to be with. Yeah. That I really have, like the person who is asking for the ring, like, it's like they're with you because they're settling. They have more of a chance with you than they actually do with the person they want to be with. So they're taking the advice.
If the man wants to marry you, he's going to marry you, and he's going to hurry up and marry you because he don't want nobody else to have you. So he's not going to wait no 3, 5, 7.
It's not even that he doesn't want anybody else to have you. It's the fact that at that point, this is what he wants, so this is what he's going to do, and you can't convince him otherwise. If I know for a fact I'm going to marry you, we're doing it. Only thing I need is for you to say yes. I got everything else. There ain't gonna be no, what we doing? There is no, we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. No, because if I have a plan for you and I have a plan for us and it involves you, I'm gonna make sure in all aspects of me looking out for you that you are going to be here. You're going to remain here. Ugh, man.
I just haven't seen it. I have not seen it. What I've seen happen is females be fiancéing for 3, 5, 7, 11, 15 years, and then they keep arguing about when they're gonna get married. They never get married, and then as soon as they break up, 6 months later, he married the next person that he meets. and all the things you were trying to get him to do while y'all work together, he goes and applies all of that stuff to the next woman, puts a ring on her finger. You see that in celebrity them all the time. You see they do it all the time. You know what I mean? It's so now you done wasted all that time, and now he ain't even marry you. Now he done marry somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And so that, to me, that's the more common thing that I see, that you just get strung along till the one that he really wants to marry comes along. And that's why you can't really, that's why you have to live your life. And that's why you do have to heal. And that's why you do have to deal with your issues, because people do the same thing when it comes to these jobs. They stay on these jobs 10 and 20 and 30 and 40 years. The young lady, she was talking about that. The older lady, she was talking about people retire and then they still got to be welcome, a greeter at Walmart, welcome to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Or working at McDonald's because you've been in this relationship for a long. I always parallel my jobs to relationships, because to me they operate in the same manner. And so people, you know, yes, you're getting something out of it. You're getting a paycheck, but we're in the time now where you can create your own paycheck. I don't need to compromise myself. I don't need to conform. I don't need to be a part of the clique. I don't need to put my mental health and my physical health in jeopardy when I can just be free and use what I got to make my own paycheck. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to put myself in a position. I don't care what it is. I don't care who it is, that I can't walk away from it.
Right.
I don't ever want to put myself in a position where I have so much to lose that I can't walk away. And a lot of people invest so much time, but the thing is that you invest so much time, and then you keep investing more time. Cut your losses now. If you're gonna lose something, the best time to do it is quickly. Get in and get out. Get in.
This ain't for me. I gotta go, because the longer you stay in it, the worse off it's gonna be.
The worse off it's gonna be, and it's the harder it is gonna be for you to leave. Because now you're like, dang, I've been here 10 years. I done invested 10 years. And a lot of times on jobs, you don't become vetted until you've been there 10 years. You got to stay 10 years to get vetted. You don't get vetted after a year. You get vetted after about 10 years. Very seldomly jobs will have you vetted after 5 years. Because they know if you stay there 10 years and be vetted, they know you're not going to leave after that. If you stay, it's same thing with marriage. If the marriage make it more than 10 years, it's probably gonna go the distance. I wish I would be married to somebody for 23, 27, 32 years, and they talking about they want a divorce. Okay, yeah, you better go to the other side of the house or something, because ain't no divorcing. We've been what? Not 30 years of my life. You walking, where you going? Nowhere. When I hear people say they've been, look at what's his name? We don't even hear Blair Underwood. Him and his wife been together 23 years or something like that. They done got divorced and he done married the best friend. Blair. What you doing, Blair? What? 23 years of my life, and you going where? Nowhere. You going up in that back room. That's where you about to be going. Or in the basement or somewhere.
That's scandalous.
That's so scandalous. You've been together 23 years. You might as well just go ahead and stay together.
The best friend, though?
The best friend. Which means she was all hanging around waiting for that day.
It's not even that. It was like she was probably going telling her best friend everything that was going on.
Everything that was going on.
And so now she know the business. Oh man,
she know the business. Yeah.
Scandalous.
Know the business. I just think that we have not learned from our mistakes. in these relationships. Cause see, I learned from my mistakes. I don't believe in getting married multiple times. I don't believe in that. I believe that one time is enough. You might get two, but you sure ain't gonna get three. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Nah, we ain't doing that. Nope, not happening. I might do it a second time, but if I do it a third time, go ahead on and take me to the doctor because I don't feel it bump my head. Yeah, be like, no, something wrong. Come on, y'all, something wrong with mommy. We got to go get mommy checked out. Something ain't right. Three times she talking about getting married again. No, 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 no. Come on, y'all. We got to take mommy to get checked out. Something ain't right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel
Poisoned her.
differently, of course. I feel differently, of course.
No, nah. I think I just have too much respect for marriage. I just don't feel like getting married. How did like no. 8 times Elizabeth Taylor was married like 8 times. Elizabeth
I think that's a bit excessive.
somebody took Elizabeth to the doctor. Something ain't right. No. 2 times, maybe 2 times. Maybe 3 times. That's out the question. That's an anomaly. Some is now maybe like if you got married young, we're gonna scrap that one off. We're gonna take that one off. And then we're gonna let you start.
I get a pass. Okay.
We're gonna let you start over.
But no, I mean, granted, for me personally, I've learned from those two experiences. One, yes, I was young, what, 20? Ain't no nothing, and just going through the
I didn't know
motions.
nothing about it, y'all. I didn't know nothing about it.
No, no,
My 2 cents
no.
wasn't nowhere near the
She ain't,
table.
she ain't
I
know
didn't
nothing
know. I
about the
wasn't
other
even
one
invited
either.
to the wedding. I wasn't invited to the first one or the second one. So I'm so glad I wasn't invited. So I can't blame nothing on me because I
No,
wasn't there.
anybody blaming. I have clearly
I
said
wasn't there. Thank
that
you,
was
God.
on me.
God knows. He knows.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna finish. Thank you. One, no, it's just. I mean, going through it, yes, looking back, and you just learn the things that you, the person, not them, you, what you could have done better or differently, or how would you would have entered into something. So it's like looking back, it's like, okay, I wouldn't do this, I would do this. And now that I'm older and I'm literally taking the time out for self, it was like I would approach the whole thing differently.
I mean, when it's good, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Like when
absolutely.
it's
Yes.
good, it's like heaven on earth. It's bliss. But when it's bad, it's like hell. So,
Because you ain't supposed to be in it. That's why it's
yeah,
hell. Be
yeah.
with somebody that you ain't not granted. Are there going to be tough times? Absolutely. But how you deal with those tough times are that's a different story. Because you can be with somebody that's like, it can be a difficult situation, but it's not really difficult. Or you can be going through a difficult situation and it's like, I want everybody to die because this is ridiculous.
I just think for me, watching people, being a people watcher, people evolve, people change. I've seen people start out good and end up bad. I've seen people be bad and end up good. You don't never know which direction a person is going to evolve in. The key
But
is to
this,
evolve together, and that
but this
doesn't
is,
probably happen a lot.
and this is also why when you're going through the dating, courting stage, all that stuff's supposed to be evaluated before you even step into getting married. Because if you can't handle problems at the dating courting level, you damn sure ain't gonna handle problems going at the marriage level. And now you here. Now
But
we
the
gotta go
thing
through this whole
is,
process to get out.
but the thing is that when you know what the purpose of it is, it's like really, in order to make two things one, the two things have to be gutted. And that's
Uh-huh.
why people don't understand what the process of it is. Because it's about ministry. It's not about what you think it's about. You see what I'm saying? I couldn't chime in earlier, but I will say that I'm going to get married again. I also think that love is an action. It's a choice we make each day.
Yes. Yes.
Love is not. That's not that's not the action part. The communication and the carrying out, like the walking out, the how you feel about the person is the action part. The spirit got to be there. Nothing can live without a spirit.
But the action of choosing to love that person, yes, you're
All right,
choosing
you
that
already
person.
chose to love me. You got to choose to love me every day.
Yeah. What you?
You got to choose to love me every day.
Because
No.
some days are all days are not the same. When the days are easy and I can wake up in the morning and like, you know what, I really love her. But then there's one day we had an argument. It's like I want her to fall down the steps. Like
See, it
it
don't
can
work
be
that
that
way.
sort of.
No, that's not how love works. I'm telling you, that's why love is unconditional. That's why it's not an action. Because you do, or today you're gonna love me today because we had an argument and you gotta choose to love me today. No. See, that's not how it works. Nothing can you can once your spirit leaves out your body, you dead. Everything the marriage has to be have a spirit. Love is a spirit, and so it's unconditional. Whether we had an argument or we didn't have an argument, it don't have nothing to do with the fact that I love you. The fact that
No, the love is still there. The love is still there, but sometimes it's again, this is why it's a choice. It is a
then you
choice.
already
Some
make the
things,
choice.
yes
If
and
we
no.
establish love ethics, then we better understand love. Every black person should read all about love. Read all
That
about
is
love, y'all.
that's
Read it.
Miss. Oh, where'd it go? I just had it up.
All about love.
That is Miss Lou. That's Miss Kwani Lou. I don't know why. I don't know
Hi.
why she has to go through StreamYard and verify stuff for her name to come up.
Right. So she said
Um,
she's gonna get married again. So what's again? Is again 2, 3, 4, or 5?
hold,
What's
hold on, hold
again?
on, hold on, hold on,
What's
hold on, hold on,
again?
hold on. Because before we even step into that, why does the number matter?
It does matter.
I'm asking, why does it matter?
Because what you keep getting, because okay, you're the common denominator in all these marriages. Why is it
Okay.
that you're not setting aside time to heal so that you're gonna carry that baggage into all these next marriages? Why you just can't stay in the marriage that you're in?
I mean,
Two.
sometimes when
Okay, we'll
you
give you
join,
2. All right, 2. We're gonna give you 2. Okay. We're gonna let that one slide.
I'm just playing devil's advocate to the person who they
Because when
were
you
that
get
serial
married,
marrier.
you get married until death do you part. Not until you grow apart, not until it reconciles the differences, not until I don't feel like I love you today. You make it's a vow. You're cutting a covenant. And the covenant is unto death. That's why the number matters. It's a covenant.
Yes,
It's
but
not
also in
what
the
you think.
Bible,
It's
it
not
actually
what you think it is. It's a covenant unto death.
yes
So
and
one of
no,
you
because even in the
dies.
Bible,
Oh, you
there is a
did?
verse that does talk about divorce and when to give someone a certificate of divorce
Because of the hardness of your heart.
because
Because
they cheated.
their hearts were hard and they didn't no longer want to be with that person. So Moses went to God and prayed and said, how are we going to handle these people over here? He was like, all right, their hearts are hard. When somebody's heart is hard, you can't get through to them. So he's like, all right, cool. But it's a caveat. All right, I'm gonna let you get a divorce because of the hardness of your heart. But guess what? You're still married to that person. Why? Because marriage is spiritual. It's all about spirit. But that's a whole nother show. That's a whole
Yeah, that's
nother
definitely a
show.
whole other show.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show when we get to the biblical side of things and the spiritual side of things. But it's spiritual. And y'all trying to make it natural so you can understand it in your own natural minds. But that's not how it was first intended. It's until death do you part. What happened in your first marriage? People get divorced and don't even know why. Do you ever
I do.
examine why you got divorced? What caused your marriage not to work? Why didn't it work? It wasn't all his fault. Wasn't all your fault.
Oh no,
You
no. You definitely have to
you
be
had
the
done
mature one.
differently.
Right.
It's till death. You said to, and you told them till death do you part, till sickness and in health. Did he get sick and you left, took all the insurance money? What happened? That's why the number counts, because it's till death. It is till death.
I believe if you did the work to figure out what was what, heal, do all that, then I don't think the number shouldn't matter.
It does matter. You standing before God and witnesses. You said till death do us part. Forsaking all others. Don't let me go get out my ministry book. Forsaking all others. You out here sleeping with Pam and Sam. No. What happened to the first marriage?
Pam and Sam.
What happened?
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
I mean, again, if you did the work to figure out what was what, why it didn't work, and lots of times, again, just because you're with someone and you chose them does not mean that y'all supposed to be together.
But that's not a reason to get divorced, though.
There are reasons to get divorced. I'm referring to the number. I'm not referring to the actual divorce, because in the Bible there is.
Once you get married one time, that's supposed to be it. You're supposed to be with that person till one of you dies.
Supposed to be, but no, in the Bible there is verses in there that is a reason to give a certificate of divorce.
Well, then everybody should be divorced then, then everybody should be divorced then. Because adultery, baby, is running rampant.
That's one of the reasons.
Yeah, because you break the covenant. That's why you break the covenant. That's why y'all. This is a covenant relationship, and people don't know anything about covenant. But that's not what the show is about. The show is about before you get married. Why are you fiancéing so long? What is this fiancé for 8 years? Oh, this is my fiancé. Oh, well, when is the wedding? Oh, we've been engaged for 7 years. You'll be like, what? I done heard 7 years, 9 years. I done heard 6 years, 10 years. Come on now.
And I think that's the other thing too. I think it's also the different mindsets and also pressure that is also applied. Women are happy about getting married. Show the engagement ring off, this, that.
Not all women
are. Not all women, but we're talking about the ones that are, which is the vast majority. And then time goes by, and it's like, girl, you've been a fiance for such and such time. And it's like, damn, I have. And then you go back and you start questioning him.
Because now you begging them to marry you now.
Yeah, because who wants to be made a fool of?
When we gonna get married? When we gonna get married? Married. You're not. But anyway, go ahead.
No, that's it. It's like, now it's like, because you don't want to be made a fool of. So it's like, all right, shit, I get off the pot. But I'm here. You said you wanted to do this. I'm holding you to your word. So why can't we do it? And then, of course, that's going to start. The only reason why it starts an argument because his plan is different than your plan. That's it.
I just want women to be wise. I want women to be wise. I want women to be strong. I want women to be decisive. I find a lot of women to be very indecisive. I want women to be decisive. And I want women to really understand, what their value really is and what it is that they really do bring to any table. It doesn't have anything to do with your material things, what you bring to the table. Especially when you have substance and when you have character. I don't care what table it is. I don't care whether it's the table at your job. Don't allow anybody to diminish who you are. Know who you are and stand strong in who you are at all times in all arenas. Because I see people shrink back in certain arenas. They're afraid to be who they are because they think they won't be accepted. It's not about acceptance. It's not, it has nothing to do with being acceptance. It's about being heard, and it's about being a voice. Even if you feel like you're not being listened to, it is still your responsibility to speak up anyway. It is still your response, because the people that hear you are going to be accountable for what they heard. So it don't stop taking everything personally. It's not about fitting in. It's not about being accepted. It's not about whether somebody likes you. It's about following through with the assignment, because you're in a space, and you're in that space for a reason. And it's something you're supposed to be doing in that space. And we're not in the time where we need to be shrinking back. We're in the time now where we need to be lifting up our voices more now than ever. And so, to me, that's how you get elevated the quickest. When you go in somewhere, I don't even look at jobs as jobs. I look at them as assignments. And if you go into a place and you know that you were sent to that place and you're supposed to be there, and the people don't listen to you, the word of God tells you to kick the dust up off of your feet, because it's going to be worse for that place. Because you're there to raise your voice and to say what other people are afraid to say.
I say what you're scared to say.
I say what you're scared to say. So, we too busy trying to be accepted and conform, and we want everybody to like us. It don't have nothing to do with none of that. I don't want you to, because I don't think I've ever realized how subtle the enemy is by chipping. It's a chipping away at you. It chips away at you. Somebody put a ring on your finger and they promise they're gonna marry you, and then 1 year go by, and then 2 years go by, and then 3 years go by. It's chipping away at you. It's chipping away at your self-esteem. It's chipping away at your confidence. It's chipping away at your value. It is slowly diminishing you, slowly, so subtly, that you don't even realize it. So now you second guessing yourself, saying, well, what's wrong with me? Why he don't want me? Why he don't want to be with me? Because that's what it's designed to do. And that's what these jobs do as well. You know what I'm saying? They make you feel like you crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, whoopty whoosh, you always whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so I want this 10-year, 15-year, all these many years of fiancéing. You gotta know when to cut your losses and say, look, I got going on for this right here.
Yeah, no. No, not to mention again.
You're not gonna play in my face. You see what I'm saying?
Not even that. If you supposed to got a plan for me, a plan for us, that doesn't involve wasting my time. Because ultimately, that's what that is. It's like, again, I have a vision for me. That means, and when we're together, there's also a vision for you, and you have your own vision as well. And all of these things have to be agreed upon. But the one thing we definitely going to agree upon is we're not going to waste each other's time.
Because you're dying. You are literally dying slowly. You're dying. Sometimes you go to a place, I don't care what the place is, for what reason, for whatever. If you stay too long, y'all staying in these places too long. You're supposed to have been gone. Supposed to have been gone. At the first time that you said, you know what, I'm leaving, you should have left.
Oh, yeah, But a lot of times when they say
own instincts.
No, a lot of times when people say that, they're trying to convince themselves, I'm leaving. And then they open the door for whatever they're trying to leave to come back and convince them to stay. Whether it's, I'm listening to the words of change behavior, or I'm going to do this, that, third. And it's like, all right, I give you a chance. No, if you really meant it, you would have done it.
And that's what I'm getting at, Dante. Mean what you say. Don't keep telling somebody you leaving. I'm leaving. Bye.
I ain't saying nothing. I'ma just leave.
You keep saying you mean what you say. Your words have to carry weight. He done heard you say you was leaving so many times. He don't even take you seriously. He like, you ain't gone yet. You been saying that. How many times you done said you was leaving? And you still here. And when you leave, don't come back. Do not come back.
Whatever you left it. Get a new one.
I've been married 14 years, got married at 19. I told him I was leaving. He didn't believe me until one day he came home and I was gone. And I never went back, nor did I look back. Did not look back and did not go back. Mean what you say. If you say, we're going to get married, write a date down, because you're supposed to come up with a date anyway.
I was going to say that. You said you about to get married. The first thing we should do, okay, what type of wedding we going to have and how long are we going to take to accomplish this? And then you start planning towards it. There should already be a date within that time frame anyway.
Right.
And then you actively work towards it. Again, I understand that things happen. The whole pandemic happened, shut a whole bunch of stuff down. Absolutely.
Done. Actions speak louder than words when it comes to dissolving relationship. Once I'm done, I'm done. Done. You got to, your words have to mean something. If it don't mean nothing to nobody else, it got to mean something to you. It is too many women in relationships that's fiancéing for way too long. You know, and it's just the same thing. You stay in relationships because, and you take this subliminal abuse. And why? Because you don't feel like you deserve any better. And you don't feel like you can do any better. Because you eat away at your self-esteem.
And you've been conditioned because you've been in this for so long. The moment you decide you want to step out of it, you've been so sheltered. It's like you don't know what's out there. But again, it's like the devil you know. So you stick with what you know, vice stepping into the unknown. Because the unknown for some people is not only a phobia, they just rather not.
And then some people be like, well, I don't want to start over. Why not?
Did you start with this one in the first place?
It's like the show said, I want to go with don't nobody know my name. Come on, let's go.
Is that cheers? Is that cheers?
Let's go. There ain't nothing wrong with starting over. Shoot. I'd rather start over. Stay with your old rusty butt. I tell you, say the devil you know. No. All this fiancé, no. Set a date.
Well, that's what communication anyway.
If you set a date, we're gonna set a new date. If he don't do nothing in that date, it's time to go.
Yeah. Bye. Again, all things through understanding. Again, understanding some things happen. When the pandemic happened, that set a lot of people back. But that's also something that can be understood.
And that was a lie. But anyway, and where's Dr. Fraudy? Don't nobody ever see him. But anyway. This lie. Y'all need to recognize, you know, we're living in a time where people do not recognize when people are telling lies. I'm gonna need y'all to recognize when people lying to you. I'm gonna need y'all to recognize when somebody's stringing you along. This ain't Monopoly. Do I look like a board game to you? We don't play these types of games with my life. I do not play games when it comes to my life, my health, my family. There's nothing that compares to it. Nothing can go on the scale of it. Not no job, none of that. Because any paycheck that I'm making at a job, I can make on my own. I can make on my own. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like I'm too smart to be broke. I'm way too smart to be broke, and so are you. Too smart to be broke, and you too smart to be broken by anybody. Don't let nobody break you, and not even in an arrogant way, just in a real confident way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people won't respect you. You got to demand respect. Sometimes they're just not going to give it to you. You just got to snatch it for yourself. You know what I mean? Because one thing you will not do is disrespect me, because I'm not going to disrespect me, and I'm not going to let you disrespect me. You're not going to string me along with a ring that I could buy for myself. You got to be kidding me. I buy my own ring. So I don't need you to give me no. I don't need. See, we got to get out of this. You need somebody to validate you. You need somebody to approve you. You need somebody to accept you. All of those, at the root of all of that is rejection and abandonment issues that you need to deal with. You need to deal with your abandonment issues and your rejection issues. You need to deal with that, because people that's rejected want to be accepted. People that's abandoned, has been abandoned, they want to be validated. They want to be approved. That's what's at the root of all of that. That's why somebody can string you along for years with a ring and never marry you. Totally disregard you as a human being. You need to deal with those rejection issues and those abandonment issues. You know what I'm saying? And I know that it's not popular, but I'm not running for office. I don't need your vote. I don't need your vote. I don't need your validation, nor do I need your approval. I don't. I don't need to be a part of your clique, because y'all a bunch of losers anyway. I'm not a part of the loser club. Everybody around me, they win. They doing big things. You know what I'm saying? I just was surrounding myself yesterday with some people just doing some big things and got some big things they get ready to do. I don't even surround myself with them type of negative, gossipy, cliquey type people. Like, nobody got time for the flying monkeys. We ain't doing flying monkeys in 2023. We're not doing that. We got big things popping. You know what I mean? And so my heart just goes out, to women. You don't have to allow anybody to diminish you for a ring or for companionship. Like, really? Be your own companionship until the person comes along that's going to recognize and see you for the beautiful spirit that you are.
And more importantly, by that time, if you've done the work on self, when said persons come along, you'll be able to recognize the BS once it's handed to you.
Close us out, Dante.
Whew. When it comes down to time, you can't get that back.
You always
because you cannot, like, time is the most expensive thing. Once you invest it in someone, you can't get it back. So at this point, it's either going to be a blessing or a lesson. With that being said, you have to know when your time is being abused and you're now learning a lesson because you can't get it back, or this person is actually blessing you because you're giving them your time. If you say you're going to do it, of course, be a man and or a woman of your word and get it done. But all things come with a plan, especially if it involves someone else. Okay, at what time would this be good for you or us? When it comes down to marriage, again, going through the seasons of courting and dating, you would have known this person already. So now you make the commitment of, okay, this is something that you want to take to the next level. You want to take it a step further. Not, let me put the ring on it, then go through all the motions of such. You done did this. Why are we doing the process more than once? What's going to change? At the end of the day, as I said before, time is valuable and is not to be wasted. There's other things that you can be doing other than holding on to the thoughts and promises of a person who's just stringing you along. Know when you're being strung along. Know when someone is just handing you empty promises in hopes that you stay and stick around. You, as a person, are not to be trifled with. And other people need to know that as well, because the moment they start trifling like they don't never trifled before, they ain't gonna stop.
Nope.
And that's it.
All right, y'all. All right. Did we talk about our condolences to
Ricky Smiley's son? No, we did not. We did not. Yes, condolences to Ricky Smiley. I don't know, like 32 is young.
Yeah, it is young.
don't know what happened or whatever, but of course, thoughts and prayers go out to Ricky Smiley and his family. It's
And
tough to lose.
also to
Oh, what
hey,
up?
you been? What's going on? And also, our condolences also to the young man that would beat that was.
Man,
I'm telling you, people.
we
I'm
just
trying
live
to
in a very wicked world.
because we got it's time to raise our voices and come together. We are too intelligent of a people to keep allowing. People only do what you allow them to do. So now they done switched the game up. Because before, when the white cops killed the black people, we started to cry out and use our voice to, take their retirement, get them fired, get them off the force. So now the black people are conforming. I'm telling you. Why? Because when the black people do it, what they're going to do to them? Lock them up immediately. And what do? Lock them up immediately. So it's time out for the and I know the marching or whatever is all that great, but we have to follow up after the marching. We have to let our voices be heard as far as, in every level of the government. We have to vote these people out of office. We have to vote them out of office. We have to boycott. You know what I'm saying? Bill Gates did not become a billionaire because he bought his own products. We have to boycott these products. We have to boycott these businesses. We have to start boycotting. We have to start boycotting because what they love, their God is money. Hey, their God is money. If you want to hit them where it hurt, you have to boycott these businesses. You have to stop buying these products. How many times do they have to show you about Gucci? How many times do they have to show you about Fendi? And how many times about Louis? And these are all, when you do the research, these are companies that have gone over to Africa, gotten the hieroglyphics off of the walls, put them on some leather, pleather, whatever, and sold you your own birthright. They selling you your own stuff that they got from your ancestors. They have not done anything original. They are selling us back our own stuff. And then when we go create, because we're very creative people, when we go create, we don't want to buy from each other. We don't want to buy from each other because they have legitimized what already belongs to us. It is time out for all of that. It's time out. Just like the one gentleman, I forget his name. He came on social media. He said, if you want to stop the police brutality, start taking out insurance policies on all your on your family members, because you're supposed to have insurance on them anyway. And then when unfortunately, when they do this, they got to pay up. You get paid. Families start getting paid. How many families paid? All these children got killed. If you're taking out $1 million policy on each one of your children, everybody got $1 million on them. Y'all have to understand economics. It comes in a lot of different arenas, and it doesn't just come in just one form. So yeah, we have to really start to take action in different ways. We got to back up those marches. We got to start boycotting stuff.
Cut the money off.
Chinese products. I don't have nothing against the Chinese. They make cheap stuff. I'm tired of them clothes that's too little. They too little. Chinese are little. Them women are small. Americans, we are bigger than they are. You ain't go to the store, you can't even buy a medium. A medium is a small. You got to buy a 1X in order for that. That's really what a true medium is, the 1X. Because they're small people. Everything is not worth cheap. You save more money when you buy quality. You know what I'm saying? You save more money in the long run when you buy quality, not cheap. You know what I mean? And so it's time out for all of this nonsense that we're doing. And we're not going to get there if we can't even recognize when somebody's stringing us along in a relationship. How are we going to recognize somebody stringing us along in a business? and stand up for ourselves. You know, we talked about that when the young man wasn't fully buckled in on the roller coaster and would not use his own voice to save his own life. We got to give our children back their voice, and we got to snatch the muzzle off of our voice. It's not about whether somebody likes you or not. It's not about whether you fit in or not. It's about that you do what it is you're supposed to do at the time it's supposed to be done. And if that means to raise your voice and to open up your mouth because you see an injustice, as Martin Luther King said, an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. Just because it hasn't come to your front door yet, it doesn't mean, you see what I'm saying? Because if you keep letting it go, it's gonna knock on your door eventually.
Yeah.
So y'all know I'm an activist and an advocate, and I'm always gonna use my voice because I was muzzled and muffled for many, many years, in my life. But when it's time to speak up, I don't care nothing about who like me. Okay, I'm not running for political office. I don't need your vote for nothing. Okay, and so yes, we're gonna stop all this fiancéing for 10 and 15 and 20, 25 years. Let that man go ahead on about his business so that the real man can come along. So the man you really supposed to have in your life, let him come along. He in the way. That's all I got to say.
That's it. All right, y'all have a good night. See y'all next.